Some people's job is just that, a job, something to earn money and make a living. But for me, teaching is more than just a profession. It is what I feel called to do more than anything in life. The Education Department at ACU focuses on aiding its future teachers on the ability to reflect. One of the reflection pieces I've done most recently has been the Math History Project. When viewing the past of other students with my own, I was able to see a strong correlation between them all. The reoccurring theme that all it takes is one. Just one teacher to make a difference on the way a student will perceive math for the rest of their life. One person to care enough to stay with it until everyone understands. One person to not give up. When going to Reagan on that first day, these reminders were going through my head. I wanted to be that one teacher that was able to turn it around for these students. When sitting down with my students on the first day, I was overwhelmed. Some could not sit still long enough to do anything, while others had their heads on their desk. I thought to myself, how could I possibly impact these students in all the ways I had hoped to? After all, what did I know? The answer to all of my questions was time. Time spent taking a deep breath before addressing behavior problems, and later coming up with ways to tackle the behavior. Time spent researching techniques on how to teach fractions in a meaningful way. Then, time spent learning how to reteach the same concept in a new way. Time spent die cutting baggies full of fraction circles so that the students could practice at home. And most importantly, time spent praying for each child's future. And in the end, not a minute was wasted. One of the things I struggled with when working with my students was keeping a simple, doable objective. I had so many ideas and activities I wanted to do, but there was just no way to cram it all into 45 minutes. I would allow myself to write out all of my ideas and then revert back to my objective to see which one tied in the closest. Possibly my biggest realization throughout this whole process is that things never go as planned. In my first lesson, we hardly made it through half of what I wanted to. In the moment, I felt frustrated, inadequate, and defeated. I thought to myself, why can I not get this point across to them? And what about all the activities I had planned? When thinking back to that moment, I feel embarrassed and ashamed that I was putting what I wanted to do ahead of my students. My biggest takeaway from this experience is an appreciation of the work ethic of children and their determination to not give up until they truly understand something. Their willingness to be taught and their appreciation and longing for knowledge is truly what makes up the heart of a child. Though this process was at times emotionally draining, it has taught me to learn how to go with the flow. I have learned that all children have the ability to learn, but this desire cannot be met without a resilient teacher, willing to give of herself and her time to be the one teacher who made the difference.